One of the wisest things my dad said is that the world would be so much better if someone just dropped 10,000 T Rexes into the world. Because, I mean, first of all, it sounds like a stupid statement, and I found it pretty funny. I was like, okay, he's just trying to say like some people should not belong in this world, like natural selection or whatever. But it really is deeper than that. And the more I thought, because at first I was laughing, but then he told me to really think about it. And as I was really thinking about it, I kind of realized like, despite how funny that is, it's pretty true. Like, it's ironic how the world would be a better place because of an extremely dangerous threat. Like you would think people would say like, no, the world would be a better place if we got rid of hunger or we, whatever. But realistically, if 10,000 T Rexes were dropped on this earth right now, it would be one pretty entertaining. Well, for some people, one pretty entertaining, but two pretty helpful. And the reason I say this is because I feel like as a society, we kind of forgot what it feels like to suffer. I mean, obviously, there's still a lot of issues in our society. Mental health is something that can never go away. Um, there's like hundreds of millions of people in fucking Africa, Asia, the Middle East, literally everywhere who can't get food. There's still wars going on. We still have very horrible politicians, but compared to compared to some of the good things in our society, like all of the technology we have, all the food we have, all the water we have, the ability to give stuff to others, the ability to make something for yourself. I mean, it's pretty crazy how lucky we are. I mean, obviously, it kind of sucks if you were born in Africa and you don't have any food or water to consume. But but yeah, society is really a better place now, and and it's really ironic that we need something worse to make it an even better place. But um, because society is so good, I feel like that's created a lot of problems. Obviously, the mental health, some mental health issues are completely valid. Like there's people with schizophrenia or with other mental disorders. You can't really say that's an issue caused by people having more opportunity or more resources. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, now that we don't have problems, we are making our own problems, and that might be the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And I'm not saying this like I'm not a part of it, because sometimes when my life gets too good, I find a way. I start overthinking. I find a way to make my own issues. I have a friend. Every time something good happens to him, he's like, "All right, when is the next catastrophic event?" And the craziest part is that catastrophic event actually manifests itself. Not, I mean, it could be just like coincidence, but the amount of times that has happened, there's like obviously a correlation. You know, if you have a good life, but then you start creating your own problems or you start manifesting something bad, then guess what? Something bad is gonna happen to you, because the way your mind works, at least in my experience, the way your mind works is, as soon as you have a thought and as soon as that thought is significant to you, your perception of reality um, will start to shift. And once that perception shifts, then the actions that you take in real life will also shift. If you expect something bad to happen, you're going to start making bad decisions, subconsciously or consciously. And going back to my point about the dinosaurs, the reason why that is good, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious by now, but the point why it's good is because, bro, 10,000 dinosaurs, that would create a lot of issues. I mean, yeah, we have like tanks and we have guns or whatever, but still, that would be a pretty big issue. And that would really, especially for like literally imagine you're sitting in your house. 3 seconds later, a T Rex the size of your house or whatever, or like half the size of your house, starts stomping on everything. Would you be worried about like, oh, shit, should I eat cereal or should I eat ramen today? Like, no, you would not be worried about that. That would be the least of your concerns. And yeah, honestly, 10,000 T Rexes would humble. I mean, it really depends, but I think generally our society, like consumer capitalist societies, we really need that because we've gone so capitalist. Like for me in the U.S., we've gone so capitalist to the point where we don't even think we don't even realize that we can produce anything. We only consume. You consume so much and so much, and the more you consume, it would be, it's crazy to think. You would think when you consume enough, you get full and you don't want anything else. But the reality of it is, and obviously this is true, just look at society. The reality of it is, the more you consume, the greedier you get. I don't care like who you are. 99.999% of people, the more they consume, the greedier they get, the more they want, and the more dissatisfied they are. And when you go through that path, you start to forget that you can produce things. And I'm not just talking produce as in like, oh, you can produce, like you can go to work, or you can whatever, like just because you're in a capitalist society and you're a consumer doesn't mean you can also produce, because at the end of the day, that's how a capitalist society functions, is that on the one hand it's the people that consume things, but on the other hand it's the people that produce. And this is completely unrelated to the dinosaur stuff, but I just think, actually no, it's pretty related. If dinosaurs were dropped on this earth, a lot of people in our capitalist society would start becoming producers instead of consumers. Because what the hell are you going to consume when there's a T-Rex chasing you? You're going to have to produce something, whether it's a crazy idea on how to stop dinosaurs from killing people or reproducing or whatever, or you can get eaten up. Um, but but yeah, and it's hard to say that people just need to change. Like they just need to realize they need to be grateful, because it's easy to say that. I mean, I've told myself that many times. Um, I've tried to tell myself, I'm grateful for being alive and for the food and water I have, blah blah blah, for a week straight. And honestly, I mean, yeah, it definitely helped ground me. It definitely does, especially when I'm in a sticky situation. Like one time I got in a car crash, which wasn't my fault. I started crashing out, but then I realized like, oh shit. Well, one, I still have a car to drive. It wasn't totaled, and two, uh, this is a pretty crazy mode of transport. There's some people like in third world countries. They're on horseback right now. They're going 2 miles per hour. So yeah, but generally, when you just try and tell yourself you're grateful, like it's really hard to have that change you. Like you can't just say I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I mean, some people can, but from my experience and for a lot of people, I think it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. Like just because you say you're grateful doesn't mean you feel grateful. You need to feel grateful, and the way you feel grateful is by going through different hardships, so you can internalize what it feels like to not have something or to be in danger. Hence, why it would be pretty good if 10,000 T Rexes um, like respawn into our world. Um, you know, if 10,000, I think, and now going back, I think the point my dad was trying to make is that, the reason why 10,000 T Rexes in our dropped on our planet would be a good thing is because it would teach people to be grateful, it would teach people to be hardworking, and it would teach people to think for themselves and not get caught up over their own issues. Like you really cannot think of your own issues. Like, how do you say? When there is a big issue right in front of you, you instantly forget about all of your small issues. I think I've made that point like 30 times in the past like 8 minutes. But yeah, we definitely need more T Rexes in our society. Once we do that, I think we'll be set. We're like, it won't just help like individuals, because soon people are gonna start realizing like, damn, hypothetically, if the T Rexes were here right now, like, damn, remember back when we used to have really good Wi Fi, but now the T Rexes started eating our cables, eating our infrastructure? Everyone would start being grateful as soon as it came back. Now, the issue is, um, because humans in general are so smart, they're going to find a way to solve their own problems. But on the other hand, because humans are so dumb, they're going to find a way to make their own problems. It's like a never ending cycle. And I'm really not trying to propose any solution, because like, bro, it beats me. I don't have a solution. But I just realized, like, when you start getting too comfortable, if you're someone who's like young or old or whatever, I'm hoping I'm talking to a younger audience. If you're young and you feel super comfortable, I hope you take it as a warning sign. There's a level of comfort you need, as in, basic food, water, and shelter. But there's a level of, but past that level, like, bro, you're starting to get into some territory. You know, I've met a lot of people. They are so comfortable in their life, like, factually, because they have rich parents, they have healthy relationships with their parents, they have a lot of friends, whatever. Obviously, I don't know their issues, but at the end of the day, they have a lot of stuff that other kids don't have, like that I don't have. But they're still doing like some horrendous stuff that I could never imagine doing. Like, imagine having a love, like all those memes on Instagram, like about people with loving families, and like loving rich families, and they just do the most diabolical shit. Like, it sounds funny and it sounds untrue, but it's really true, and it's because the underlying reason is because they're so comfortable, they don't have any issues, and when you don't have any issues, you're like, all right, what am I really living for? So now you got to go create your own issues, or you have to distract yourself with whatever, like drugs or partying or alcohol. Not that it's horrible; it could definitely get worse, um, but yeah. I guess the main idea of this video is that um, comfort is your biggest enemy. It sounds really cliche, but when you really dig into, like, it sounds cliche and obvious to some people, or other people might be like, what do you mean comfort is good? But when you really dig into it, comfort comfort would be good if we weren't so stupid. Comfort would be good if we didn't create more of our own issues. But at the end of the day, when we feel comfortable enough, we start thinking about other issues to solve. But if there's no issues to solve, we start creating our own issues. You know, some people, they just start overthinking for the fuck of it. I know that when my life is going good, I start overthinking for the fuck of it. I'm like, damn, I live in a pretty good house. I have a pretty good diet. I'm not injured. I'm making pretty good money. What if I get hit by a car the next day? And then that becomes my new problem, and I'm stressing about that 24/7. You know what I mean? So if you want to avoid that issue, from my experience, the way you avoid being too comfortable and creating your own issues is by making yourself uncomfortable again. How do you make yourself uncomfortable again? One, you either go out in the street and you be homeless for a day or two, which I didn't do, but I don't think you should do it because that's pretty pointless. But two, maybe start maybe start instead of creating your own problems, find problems that you want to solve that are already like a big part of society. Let's say one of your problems is that you're not rich. Well, a lot of people would say, why spend your whole life trying to get rich? But if you're really comfortable in your life, you have like a normal life, you're a normal kid living in like the US, and you have a good life, but you're not rich, then if you don't have any problems, you might as well get rich. It sounds pretty shallow, but like, dude, if you don't have any problems, it's either you go solve something and try and bring value to yourself or others, or you can go down the path of making problems for yourself and digging yourself in a tunnel. By the time you dig down the tunnel, you'll realize, one, okay, well, now I can definitely be grateful for what I had back then. But two, why did I even do this? Like, what was the point of digging all the way down, um, when I instead could have found a problem to solve, whether it was for myself, like getting rich or getting in shape, or for society, like solving cancer or whatever. So please, instead of making your own problems, go find problems to solve. Whether that's with you, self. That's why self improvement exists, and that's why self improvement is such a good thing, as long as it doesn't get taken too far. Because anyways, or go help out society. Because I'm not saying like everyone has to work on getting rich, but if you really got nothing better to do, then you might as well either improve yourself or improve society. Um, so yeah, that's the moral of the story. I really don't hope 10,000 T-Rexes get dropped into our society, but if it did, I would I would predict that society comes out a better place. So yeah.